Next on Good Morning El Paso, breaking overnight. A person is injured after a fire engulfs a mobile home. Fire officials tell us it was because of a heater. We have our round-the-clock crew on the scene.
And officials in Hudspeth County are trying to figure out how a teacher from Bowie died while in their custody, what he was taken in for, and how students and staff are reacting.
And a punishment has been handed down for some players involved in a brawl last Friday night. What the coaches of Mayfield and Las Cruces High have to say about it.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning, everyone. If you are just joining us right now, we're following the latest on a house fire overnight in Clint. We just learned from fire officials that this was because of a heater. Our round-the-clock crew is on the scene, and we'll have a live report coming up in just a moment. But first, we're under a first alert.
Yes, we are, and those freezing temperatures are affecting the borderland this morning. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Floren. Welcome back to Good Morning El Paso. So just how low did the temperature drop overnight? We know yesterday Crystal was talking about the potential for freeze.
and we actually surpassed our expectations, Crystal.
That's right. We moved right on below 32 degrees in El Paso and Las Cruces. In fact, in some areas the temperature is still dropping a bit as we start to see the sun rise around our area. We will slowly warm up today. Today is going to be a very cool one. That's why we've left your first alert in effect. We saw our first freeze of the season this morning. Temperatures will remain very cold with bitterly cold wind chills in some areas. In fact, it feels like we're closer to the low 20s outside in El Paso right now. And we're also tracking a very cool afternoon. Not much warming as we move through the day. In fact, we won't even make it to 50 degrees this afternoon in El Paso. Here is a look at those wind chills. We're now at 20 degrees in El Paso for your wind chill temperature and 18 in Las Cruces. That's a temperature that it feels like as you step outside. So it feels like we're a little farther north up the U.S. than we actually are. 1 degree your wind chill Ruidoso, -6 Guadalupe Pass, and just a little better at 30 degrees. Silver City. Coming up in your forecast a few minutes from now, we will talk about your temperatures this morning, how much they'll warm this afternoon, and much better news, how much they'll warm tomorrow. It's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Crystal.
And our round-the-clock coverage now. A fire this morning has injured a man in Clint after his mobile home caught fire.
It happened right before 4 a.m. on the 1500 block of Westbourne, that is in Clint. We go now to Good Morning El Paso's Andrew J. Polk live on the scene. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. A family is out of their home this morning after a fire rips through their home, demolishing it and seriously damaging 2 of their cars. Now, as you can see here behind me, that trailer out here in Clint is pretty much destroyed. Firefighters haven't even been able to go in yet. We've learned that the fire department out here responded around 3:30 this morning to this complete destruction of this home. We did learn that 1 man was injured, the father of this family of 4 with 2 teenagers, after he broke glass trying to alert and remove his family from the home. Now, firefighters have not been able to go in yet, as this was a complete loss and is not safe to go in yet, but they do believe that this was caused by a heater fire this morning. With these cold temperatures, people starting up their heaters, it is a problem, and that was currently believed to be the cause of this fire. So it is miserably cold out here this morning. So if you're considering starting up your heater, be safe. Make sure that there aren't any flammables near it, particularly if you have a flame-based heater. And of course, have it checked if you haven't already, as this cold is setting in this season. We'll have more coming up in the next half hour, but for now, reporting live in Clint, Andrew J. Polk, ABC7.
Okay, Andrew, thank you for that live update. And police this morning are still trying to piece together just what happened to Edgar Lesbron before he died. Overnight, police blocked off a strip mall parking lot on the 1400 block of Zaragoza. We brought this story to you as breaking news yesterday on Good Morning El Paso, and this is video of the scene where investigators were, and police are still being tight-lipped about this investigation, only telling us that the 36-year-old was taken to his home on the 2000 block of Greenvale and then taken to Sierra Providence, where he later died. The cause of death, trauma to the head. We learned Lesbron was a personal trainer at Show Off's gym. We'll continue to follow the story and update you once we learn more details. A man in Las Cruces is dead after he slammed the motorcycle he was riding into a rock wall. It happened shortly after 10 Tuesday night on the 1800 block of Main Street. Police say 64-year-old Luis Espinosa was on his Harley when he veered off the road and crashed into the wall. Espinosa was not wearing a helmet. Police are looking into whether speed or alcohol were factors.
Are you a vet who's possibly looking for a job? If so, get that resume ready. Today is the 3rd annual Red, White, and You Veterans Hiring Fair. It'll take place at Fort Bliss's Centennial Conference Center. The building is at 11199 East Bliss. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you'd like more information, call the number on your screen, 887-2221. Last year's events attracted more than 11,000 job seekers and more than 1,500 employers statewide. Well, November is Adoption Month. There are many children here in the El Paso area who are in desperate need of a good foster home. That's why Texas Child Protective Services is working now with other groups that work with those kids to get the word out. This video is from the 12th Annual CARE Conference that was held yesterday. It's a 2-part event, an adoption fair, and a seminar where foster parents can learn more about some of the issues that foster kids often face when they leave a bad home.
It's not just about having a room and board for a child. It's really about nurturing a child. It's not just about giving a foster kid a safe place to land for a bit. It's about helping that child heal, and that's why this event is so important.
November 22nd is National Adoption Day. A mass adoption celebration will take place on that day in the 65th District Court. That's on the 10th floor of the El Paso County Courthouse.
Officials in New York City still don't know why a cable malfunctioned and left a scaffold dangling at the World Trade Center tower. 2 window washers were stuck for nearly 2 hours before a dramatic rescue. Firefighters used diamond cutters to saw through a 2-layered glass window to bring the workers to safety yesterday afternoon.
Well, this is scary. I could only imagine if, the worst scenario. The thing is to get these guys out of there before something else happens.
The workers didn't fall because they were harnessed to the platform. Officials say they had mild hypothermia after their ordeal outside the 69th floor of the nation's tallest building.
Gives me chills, I can't imagine.
Same here.
Horror.
So scary.
Well, glad they're okay. Moving on, the international spotlight is on Turkey this morning.
It's after a dramatic confrontation between protesters and U.S. sailors not wearing their uniforms. The American men were on the streets of Istanbul when the organized group attacked them.
ABC's Damon Bradley has the latest developing right now.
The attackers say they shot and released this video for the world to see. 3 U.S. sailors assaulted on the streets of Turkey. The men who were not wearing uniforms tried to ignore the taunts.
We define you as murderers, as killers. We want you to get out of our land.
But the growing crowd turned violent, the 20 or so people surrounding the Americans.
We want to protest you.
The sailors are shoved and sprayed with red paint representing blood, the crowd chanting anti-American slogans. Then the crowd tried to force white bags over the sailors' heads. The sailors managed to break free and run for safety. They made it back safely to their ship, the USS Ross, a destroyer on a port visit to Istanbul. The Secretary of the Navy visited the sailors and called the assault reprehensible. The ultra-nationalist group, the Turkish Youth Union, claimed responsibility for the attack, saying they're angry with American imperialism. The group used the bags in an apparent reference to a 2003 incident in Iraq when U.S. forces detained Turkish soldiers, putting hoods over their heads.
The Navy is reviewing security for future port calls, and U.S. officials were quick to say the incident will not affect America's relations with Turkey. Damon Bradley, ABC News, Washington.
And at 6:09, taking a look at Loop 375 and San Marcial in the lower valley, courtesy of our TxDOT cameras. You can see the traffic is pretty light this morning, and Hillary, like we said earlier, if people are trying to stay out of the cold, they might be running a little late this morning.
Right, that's how I was this morning. I was really slow moving. I didn't realize it until I looked at the clock. Oh my goodness, got to get going. Well, hopefully we can wake you up and you can get out that door on time.
Yeah, of course, and definitely because we just want to keep an eye on those temperatures. But coming up this Saturday, you can start signing up for health insurance under Obamacare.
That's right. If you make a certain amount less than the number they post, you can opt out of signing up and avoid a penalty fee. We have all that information coming up.
And mission accomplished. After a 4 billion mile journey, a spacecraft lands on a comet, but not without some trouble.
And Crystal Cly is standing by right now to tell us just how cold we are going to reach. You said the temperatures are still going down this morning.
That's right. It's a very cold start here morning. We're going to check in on how low we are now sitting. Plus, we'll talk about temperatures warming in the days to come, and what about any chance of rain in the forecast? It's all up after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.